But I always say that, number of people is not a problem for Pakistan. The problem that we need to solve for is that the number of people who leave the country, we need to prepare at least an equal number of people who are then graduating, because every year we have an increasing number of population that is coming into the workforce. So if we're effectively able to channelize this increasing population towards the right kind of skills and demand-driven, trainings and skills trainings, I think that brain drain, the problem of brain drain can be resolved. And also, story for another day maybe, but the issue of excessively increasing population might also be addressed. So that was the part where we feel that, adequately skilling our young population can not only help the country grow overall at large, obviously they'll be contributing to the economy, but we also feel and we also want to really step up and help the industry overall to have the right kind of supply. As far as the third thing that I would like to talk about is the availability of infrastructure. Again, maybe this might not be a big problem for larger companies, but for SMEs and companies that are taking smaller start, sometimes having basic office space can be quite an impediment and quite a significant cost of business. And for that, the government has already set up more than 40 software technology parks. The idea behind these parks is that how to convert the existing infrastructure, and we all know that our relatively higher socioeconomic strata heavily invests in real estate. So how do we convert that real estate and really make it productive in terms of, becoming office spaces for the industry? So this is where this idea came, and what we do is that we offer an existing building and really renovate it and convert it into a software technology park where the building becomes a great ecosystem for any small technology company that wants to come and work there. And basically, it's a plug-and-play model. In a lot of cases, we give a year free of internet, continuous power supply through generators. So these are these little interventions that the ministry makes to make these real estate infrastructure facilities more feasible to be used for the IT industry. Similarly, we have special technology parks that we're working on at this point. Somewhere next year, in the second quarter, the first technology park in Islamabad will be completed. The park itself will create around 10,000 jobs. We're hoping to host around 120 businesses in the technology park, where it's very well equipped with auditorium, classrooms, and hostels, and everything that a larger ecosystem requires. It also has a tier 3 data center. So that's one technology park coming up, but twice the size of that park will be started in Karachi this year. And that is right next to the airport. And we're hoping that it will really provide that kind of specialized infrastructure facility that will create an environment and an ecosystem which is conducive to the growth, especially for the SMEs in the IT sector, and also common co-working spaces for the freelancers. And on the same lines, around 250 e-Rozgar centers will be made across the country. Again, it's a partnership between the federal government, provincial government, and the private sector, again, to provide affordable workspaces for our industry that is growing every day. And lastly, I would like to talk about the product side of the sector. Whereas we have big companies like NetSol who are providing products to mega organizations across the world, we also have a very healthy, growing startup ecosystem. However, I do feel that there are certain bottlenecks where our startups sometimes do not get that chance to really scale. So we're trying to figure out where the scalability problem is and how can we really deal with that so that we can really churn out more and more unicorns from Pakistan, which we've been unable to see till now. But we're hoping that so we all know that venture capitalism across the world really dipped in the last few years, and that spike that we saw in startup investments and venture capitalism really took a dip in the last few years, and obviously it also affected Pakistan. So last year when I was serving as the Special Assistant Prime Minister on Youth Affairs, Honorable Prime Minister was really gracious enough to allow me to start certain projects, and one of them was Startup Fund for Pakistan. And Pakistan Startup Fund is essentially, this is the kind of gap that it intended to bridge, that early stage startups that require that basic financial capital, they should be supported with, you know, certain capital investment from the government. However, will not be taking any equity. It's going to be grants for the startups. So that's one project that's underway. We've set aside around 2 billion rupees for this this year. And the second part is what I was talking about in terms of acceleration. So the startups that are able to acquire their position in any international accelerator programs, Government of Pakistan will be selecting and funding quite a significant number of them. Again, up to the, we've budgeted it up to the tune of 1 billion so that some of our startups can really get that exposure out there and get that kind of experience, learning, and also connectivity when they are really, you know, get that chance to become part of these international accelerators. So these are some of the things that I wanted to significantly, there's a lot of other things. There's a lot of policy work going on. There's a lot of projects, partnerships that are going on. We're continuously trying to establish a relationship with different, on an international level with different countries, especially our visit to China was quite successful. Same with Saudi Arabia. So we're trying to really create those opportunities and open the doors for our local industry to be connected and have these joint ventures with their, you know, significantly larger companies abroad, so that your organizations can grow, your businesses can grow, and you feel and you kind of create those connections that you require. And for that, Pakistan Software Export Board has been doing quite a lot to ensure that there's a good participation of Pakistani companies and organizations abroad in different expos that we've conducted. This year, while Madam Aisha was heading PSEB, we were also able to do good international branding for Pakistan, especially in Dublin and Toronto, and we felt that it really created a good feel-good factor for the country and industry at large. Once again, we've kept, again, a significant proportion to really market Pakistan well abroad, and we feel that better marketing really leads to that kind of trust building that our industry requires in the international market. So these are a few things that I wanted to talk about and leave you with. Lastly, I would like to say that at the ministry, we're always open. I have about 5 private sector advisories that I'm continuously in touch with. One has all the telcos and ISPs. One has some representation from software and product side. We have an advisory that is expats of our sector across the world, an advisory that is full of tech-based consultants for policy advisory. So various advisories so that we're continuously in touch with the industry. Pasha is, you know, our right hand at the ministry. Almost all of the CEC is in touch with us on daily basis. But for everyone else, our email addresses, our social media platforms, they're always open for any good suggestions. And trust me, we get some really brilliant suggestions that we're able to effectively employ as well. The idea is that we want to, and there's a serious understanding that if this sector has to grow and if Pakistan has to grow, if we have to increase, and my target, by the way, is something around $25 billion in the next 5 years, which is quite a stretch target, to be honest. But if we have to get anywhere close to that, it is through the private sector, through the growth, and by supporting the private sector that we're going to be able to achieve these targets. IT remains the focus of the government of Pakistan, and through the whole of the government approach, where SIFC, the government, the apex body of the SIFC, which hosts all stakeholders, where we will be hopefully able to really move the needle and make the change that is required to support all of you. And we expect that all of you will also step up with us. We're always open for any suggestions, all your, constructive criticism that we can really use to fix things for the industry. I would like to once again congratulate all the organizers and thank you all for being patient with me. Hopefully, you'll have a great next 2 days, and I'll see you soon, inshallah. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Could you please stay on the stage for